All right, question number 2. So solve the quadratic equation using square roots. So the first thing I want to do is just make sure we all understand the square root technique is really evident because you're always going to have a square on top of like x, or a square on top of a parentheses, or a square on top of a parentheses. And then there's going to be no other x's anywhere else. If there are other x's somewhere else, then this technique doesn't work. But it's evident when you see just x squared or parentheses squared, and then there's no other x's in the problem. This technique is really, really useful. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on question A, sorry. So we've got x squared is equal to 49. That one, you just square root it. So we're like, all right, square root that side, square root that side. Don't forget the plus and minus. And this would give us our answer that x is equal to positive and negative square root of 49, which is 7. All right, that's it. Moving on to the second question. This one, you want to get the parentheses by itself. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7, okay? And this gives us x minus 4 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. And then we just have to solve that by square rooting both sides of the problem. So we square root the left side, square root. To get rid of the square, we square root the right side, square root. Don't forget the plus and minus, so we put the plus and minus in there. The square and the square root cancel each other out. The result is x minus 4. The parentheses are no longer necessary because the square is gone. Plus or minus 2. X minus 4 plus or minus 2. Next, get the x by itself by adding 4 to both sides using some of your Algebra 1 skills. And we get x is equal to 4 plus or minus 2. Now, since the 2 is neither square root or an imaginary number, we're just going to simplify this. We're actually going to break it down. I like to always put the minus in the front. That way I have the smaller number in the front and the plus in the back. So I'm going to say 4 minus 2 and 4 plus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, and we now have our solutions to that equation. X is equal to 2 and 6. All right, our last problem, question C. So this one here, got a little bit of math to do. So we want to isolate the parentheses, so we're going to take away the 48 first. So we're like, all right, minus the 48. This gives us negative 12 parentheses x plus 1 squared equals negative 48. Step 2, get rid of the negative 12. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 12. Boom, boom, cancels out. And we get x plus 1 to the power of 2 is equal to positive 4. We're going to take the square root of both sides to get rid of the square. Whoop, whoop. But don't forget the plus and minus. All right, the square and the square root cancel. The result is x plus 1. Once again, the parentheses are no longer necessary because the square is gone. And we get positive negative square root of 4, which is 2. Take away the 1 from both sides, minus 1, and we get x equals negative 1 plus or minus root 2. Plus or minus 2. So at this stage, you're going to write down your two answers. X equals negative 1 minus 2. I always like to put the minus 1 first. And x equals negative 1 plus 2. Some people might ask, why did you just write it this way? I ran out of room. That's the only reason why. This equals negative 3. And this equals 1. So my answers are x equals negative 3, the smaller number, and 1, the larger of the two numbers. And that's how you solve using the square root. All right, I'll see you guys in question number 3.